Okay, so we got to hear a little bit more of Jason, who I love. I also wanted to mention something.
You just think he's hot. Stop.
He is a little hottie. And he has a beautiful wife, too, who was also an artist. She was a singer-songwriter. She plays the fiddle. And she was pretty damn amazing. I wanted to mention something that we didn't talk about that's very important, that in our August issue that's going to be coming out very soon, we have about 6 acts that are performing at the
is the date, street date.
Philadelphia Folk Festival that are going to be in this new issue. So Jason Isbell, which you already gave away the cover. Steep Canyon Rangers, Rebirth Brass Band, Rebecca Loeb, Old Crow Medicine Show, and Shamika Copeland all are in the next issue. And you can all see them at the Philadelphia Folk Festival that's happening. So we have with us right now Noah and Michael. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
How are you?
We are good, thank you. Very good.
Thank you so much for coming down. You guys are both from the Philadelphia Folk Song Society. It is 3 weeks to the festival. I know you have a shit ton of stuff to do. So thank you for taking a break to come and talk with us. I know this is, I'm sure it cannot be an easy production.
No, this is the first thing we've done all day.
You were just napping, having
we spent the afternoon
cocktails.
with our feet up.
Well, thank you for taking a little break to chat with us. We are all very excited. So 53rd year that this is happening, and you were just giving me a little history during the break. This is phenomenal. So tell us a little bit. First, let's start with the Philadelphia Folk Song Society. What is it? When did it start? Give us the details.
The Folk Song Society was founded in 1957 by, as you might imagine, a small group then of folk enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. And one of the main ideas actually from the outset back there in the late 50s was that they wanted to put on their own festival. And I've heard stories about a train ride actually back from the Newport Folk Fest with a lot of these core founders saying, well, why don't we do that on a farm outside of Philadelphia?
Yeah.
And so after a few years and a little bit of membership building, the festival was born in 1962. The first was out in Paoli, where it was held for a few years before moving to Old Pool Farm, the site where it still is now.
In Schwenksville. I just really love saying that. So I'm going to throw it in as much as I can.
And so now, I mean, the society has been growing ever since all these decades. We now boast a membership of over 3,000 folks that that pay their annual dues, and usually in addition to coming to the festival, attend any of the dozens of performances we put on throughout the rest of the year.
That's amazing. Is it? I mean, I know it's Philadelphia based, but I'm sure you have a lot of members from outside the area as well, right?
Sure, yeah. Well, obviously our biggest concentration is within the Delaware Valley. I mean, I see them come through all the time. Arizona, Florida, California, Canada. Mm-hmm. Yeah, places you've never heard of. Folks who still come out every year and make the trek, up the East Coast or across the country, or just still are interested in supporting Philadelphia area folk music.
Who was some of the originating founders of the society? Do you know off the top? I'm curious. Was there a folk scene happening in Philadelphia in the 50s that was palatable?
Yeah, very much so. And that obviously continued into the boom of, the folk revival into the 60s. Mm-hmm. We didn't have any necessarily superstar people that actually founded the society.
Right. A
lot of those folks were involved then in the growth of it. Pete Seeger was the headliner of the very first Philly Folk Fest.
Wow, that's cool.
In 1962, yeah. Mm-hmm. And after he was mailed his check, he actually mailed it back to the society and told us to keep it for next year and put it towards 1963.
Wow, that's impressive. That's a great story. Yeah. No, what do you actually do at the Philadelphia Folk Society? What's your position?
I'm the associate director there, so coordinate any number of the other programs that we put on, in addition to a lot of the festival logistics with Michael here. We also coordinate a program called the Odyssey of American Music, which is a separate arm of our organization that fundraises money specifically to pay performers to go into area schools that otherwise would not be able to pay these artists. So we contact the schools and say, are you interested in a free, yes, totally free, concert and lesson from these artists? And then we foot the bill for that and, send performers out to these schools.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
so stuff like that. And you also do the music co-op, I believe.
Yeah, indeed. the Philly Music Co-op is, again, this other arm of PFS where we work with, it's just shy of 100 local acts now, and they cover everything under the folk umbrella. And what we do is talk with these folks, sit down with them and figure out, exactly where they're coming from and the sort of goals they have for their project, and how the Folk Song Society, through our resources and our history and our network, might be able to help them get there. So we put on a number of shows throughout the year featuring these co-op folks, offer them any support we can. And it's actually grown to a point where we've got such a wonderful roster of folks that are a part of this co-op. In 2013, 17 acts that we work with directly through the Philly Music Co-op played at the Philly Folk Fest.
Wow.
Now, this year, I believe the final count is 22 acts, that we know and work with that are members of this co-op are playing at the folk festival.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's wonderful how this other part of the organization, founded 4 years ago, has now become so intertwined with what is by far our largest event every year, to the point where they're making up about 25% of the entire roster.
Well, what I was saying, which I thought is kind of amazing. First of all, 53 years is, and Michael, you had actually said that it's the longest running festival in the United States. I don't want to get it wrong.
Correct. It's the longest continuous music festival in the United States. When Noah was talking about our founders went up to Newport, they went up there in 1959 and 1960 because Newport started in 1959, Newport Folk Festival.
Yep.
And so we started in 1962, but Newport didn't run for a couple years in the 70s, so that's why we use the word continuous.
Got it.
But Newport Folk Fest is strong, doing really well, and we collaborate with those guys and talk to them throughout the year. So, yeah, we're all in this together,
And what is your position?
I'm the director of the Philadelphia Folk Festival.
The director. So I was saying that, I've only been I've been in Philly a long time, but guy that I work with, he has a group of like 12 people that have been going to this festival every year for 15 years. No one plans anything the world stops.
Yeah.
It has to.
And they go and they camp, and they're bringing their children and they're bringing other people.
Yeah.
And I've always been really amazed by this dynamic. And you're saying that 15 years is nothing.
Well,
people going for like ever.
Well, I think it's a good point what you just said about children, because we're blessed with an event that has 3 generations. Think of it, 50-some years.
That's
so you have the
amazing.
grandparents, you have the parents, and you have the kids. And as you know, and as your friends do, camping is such a major part of our event. We have 7,000 campers. It's a town. We have roads that we name, and it's camaraderie. And as Noah will attest to, I'm going to guess and say 20 or 25% of our campers never even go over to the concert side.
Wow.
No, that is true. And I have to say, me being there, I've been to both sides, and I can see, at first I couldn't figure out why the dynamic was like that. And then I realized fast, once I was there, I really don't want to go over there because I'm enjoying the music that's being played in the campsite, that you really don't want to leave and go over to see the concert. But then you're kind of torn. Yeah. And what was cool about it, from my perspective, camping there, is like you go to sleep listening to the people next to you performing music, and you wake up with the same people playing music. Like I don't think anybody ever sleeps. It's just amazing. Yeah. And just experience music throughout the entire day and night, and like 24/7 for 4 days straight or 3 days straight.
And as you know, Brian, talking about the campground, a lot of the talent is amazing in that campground.
Oh yeah,
people just jamming. They're a lot of the talent belongs on our stages.
I mean, you have some that are set up like as different lounges, so to speak. So some of these campers will get together and they'll make their own area where they'll have like a saloon, like with wooden doors that open and shut. And then they had like the dating game at one place where they had the dating where I actually sat on and played but didn't get picked. And it's just every little spot had their own party and had their own set of musicians performing in the campground, and it was like double or triple or even five different concerts all at once. And it's like you kind of are like, I'm missing out on something down the road there when I'm right here, and it's like you kind of feel torn.
It's 4 days, 7 stages, right?
That's right, yes.
That is a big lineup. I can't even imagine where the planning process begins on an event like this, and I want to talk about it. We're going to take a little break. play another song. Then when we come back, I want to hear what these logistics look like to put this show together, because I'm reading the lineup again on this flyer that you gave us, and there's so many people that I want to see. Dante, for instance, is Johnny Swim's probably their number one fan, I'm pretty sure. And El Caribe Funk, I just got a chance to hear them recently, and they blew me away. So we're going to talk about how you find all these awesome acts. I'm going to play an artist that's actually going to be there. She's in our magazine as well, Shamika Copeland. This song is called Ain't Gonna Be Your Tattoo. We'll be back in just a moment.
Just what I said wrong is anybody's guess, but the bruise on my face was as blue as my dress. Broken bottle on the table, broken lamp on the floor, couple 1,000 miles from the bed to the door. Lipstick on his cheek from my last kiss. Took a 10 from his wallet, left him made a tip. Ain't gonna be your tattoo, ain't gonna be your tattoo. End up faded and blue, ain't gonna be your tattoo. Slipped out of the room, trying not to be seen. Only sound, old ice machine. I was feeling so scared, nowhere to go. How did my life end up so low? They say 30's young, but I'm feeling older. Guess that's when the night got even cold. Ain't gonna be your tattoo, ain't gonna be your tattoo. End up faded and blue, ain't gonna be your tattoo, ain't gonna be your tattoo, ain't gonna be your tattoo. End up faded and blue, ain't gonna be your tattoo. Said I look so pretty on his arm, same one he writes to do me Well, I picked up a ride, right into Reno. He got us a room above the casino. The music was loud and the drinks were cheap, but I knew right away I wasn't getting no sleep. Then I got the fear all over again when I saw that drawing all over his skin. Ain't gonna be your tattoo, ain't gonna be your tattoo. End up faded and blue, ain't gonna be your tattoo, ain't gonna be your tattoo. Ain't gonna be your tattoo.
Okay, we're back. A little musical interlude there to get you in the mood for the Philadelphia Folk Festival. Shamika Copeland, beautiful song.
Friday night on the main stage.
Friday night on the main stage, she's going to be there. Where is she from?
She was born in Harlem, lived a lot in Teaneck, New Jersey. Now she's based out of Chicago.
Out of Chicago.
I'm from Teaneck. That's pretty funny.
So I need to take a break for 2 seconds because we have a winner in the Rixton contest. And I was really pulling for this girl to win. I'm gonna tell you, and she literally was the 5th tweet. And I'm really excited. And I think that she is going to be even more excited. So I just want to shout out Just Kiki, Beachy Ariana, Sparkly Deaton, Fallon or Die. They were the first ones to tweet. Number 5, her Twitter name is actually Rixton Philly. Sunny, congratulations. You won the 2 tickets to go see Rixton on August 5th at the TLA. I'm going to hit you up on DM from the That Mag Twitter account because you twittered in and you won. Twittered in. I'm trying to pull it off. Let me have my moment.
You kind of look like I'm not going to say it.
I don't know what you're going to say because I'm trying to have a moment of creating something else to contribute to our pop culture world. And I think that I can pull it off.
I think
it's just all I'm saying.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. All right.
Let's go back to the Folk Fest.
Let's go back to the Folk Festival because this is the most important thing right now that's happening. So, right before break, we were just talking a little bit about the logistics of trying to put something like this together. I mean, the day after, do you start planning for next year? Is that what happens?
Probably before that.
Yeah?
Or maybe 2 days after.
2 days after. You take 1 day break. How do you find the acts? I mean, is this kind of like how does this process work when you're trying to think about who's going to perform?
We have a committee, a programming committee,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Noah, myself, Jesse Lundy, and Rich Carden from Point Entertainment, Andy Brunfeld, our festival chair, and Lisa Schwartz, the president of the Philadelphia Folk Song Society. So between all of us, we have a pretty wide background of knowledge on different genres of music, and we go out there and see a lot of music. So
yeah, they do. They travel a lot, from what I understand, to go see artists.
You seem to be very knowledgeable about the acts that are performing, which is kind of impressive because there's a lot of names, but you know what you're talking about.
We're passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's like we have to sleep at night, and we really think long and hard who's going to be on our stages. We don't want the artist just to hit it and quit it. We want them to hang out, get part of the whole scene, go to the campground, and sign autographs, and that's what a festival's about.
How long have you been going to the festival?
I started like in the 80s. I went a few times, and then 90s a couple times. 2002, I went with Shamika Copeland. She's a good friend. 2000,
who we just played.
Yeah, who we just played. And then 2009, and then I've been with as director. This is my 4th summer.
If bands are listening and they want to get involved and maybe perform at a future festival or get involved with the Folk Society in general, what would be the best way for them to do that?
I would tell them to take a look at that co-op that I was just talking about earlier. It's open to anybody in the greater Philly area and even beyond. We have people part of it in New York, and and it's just a way to get to know us at the Folk Song Society personally, and we get to know you, we get to know your music and the sort of direction you want to head. And we take it as a given that probably everyone wants to play the Folk Fest someday.
Sure,
but that's the best way to.
I want to play the Folk Fest.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
There you go. Okay, I'll show up
the day after. I'll open for you.
I'll be cleaning up Mondays. What are you saying?
Well, we were talking a little bit too about Shamika, and you mentioned some of the various activities that you have at the cultural tent, which I thought sounded just amazing.
Yeah, it was brand new last year. This stage here that's right in the middle of our concert grounds, because we always had all these wonderful ideas presented to us, film screenings and other sorts of lessons and workshops that just didn't really fit on any of our other stages. So we constructed and programmed this new cultural tent, which runs for about 10 hours on each day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we've just recently finalized the programming for it this year. We've got some of the similar stuff that we did last year that was a big hit. We open every day at 11 a.m. with an open sing-along, and that turns into then usually an open jam.
Mm-hmm.
A big hit last year was ukulele lessons, where for just $50, you come and get an hour lesson and then go home with a ukulele.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I would totally do that.
Yeah.
Oh, no. She'll
Totally.
be playing that in this room
We
all night.
sold out last year. So
I bet you
if you're going to
did.
be on the grounds, get there Friday morning and sign up, because we sold
Be
out
so
2
much
days
fun.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of new things going on, including harmonica lessons. We hooked up with Honer Harmonica.
Awesome.
Again, the same idea, open to novices and intermediate players both. You want to hit some of the other couple of new things on there?
In the cultural center?
Yeah.
Sure. Again, like Noah said, it's like a 2,500 square foot tent.
Right.
So all our other 6 stages are all out in the open. So this is almost a one-on-one kind of vibe.
Okay.
So that's why we like it. And
Did you say 2,500 square feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 3
So-
of my apartments.
So picture maybe 250, 300 chairs facing the stage. And like Noah said, we have book signings.
Mm-hmm.
We have movie screenings, our new DVD, CD that we're very proud of.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be screening that Friday and Saturday night at 8 o'clock in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a Sacred Steel, a Sacred Workshop by one of our co-op artists, right? Ben?
Yeah, Sacred Harp Singing, Sunday afternoon with Ben Cocciaro. Wonderful talent we found here, through the co-op, of course. And it's great because a lot of our artists that are performing on some of the other stages throughout the weekend have all of these other talents and, able to lead workshops and give lessons and this sort of thing. And so this provides a wonderful outlet for them. They say, hey, well, thanks for booking my band, but
Yeah.
I do all this other cool stuff that we could, if you've got the appropriate venue for it. And so we filled it with 30 hours of programming throughout the entire weekend.
That's amazing.
Where on the grounds is this tent?
Yeah, good question, Brian. As soon as you go in the front entrance to the right,
Okay.
maybe about 50 feet on the right-hand side.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Another thing is, as you well know, one of our missions is education. So Sonny Boy Williamson, great harmonica player named John Lee Williamson, who was born in 1914. So we're doing a centennial tribute to him. I'll be moderating it, and we'll have Ansel Barnum, one of our co-op artists. We'll be talking about Sonny Boy's life, and then his band will play all the music of Sonny Boy Williamson. And that'll lead right into the harmonica, or the harmonica class will lead into that. So it's we're excited. Like Noah
really
said,
exciting.
I think for $40, you're going to get a good Honer, like a $30, $35 retail item, and you'll get an hour of instructions. And so we're excited. So now we can break out with the cultural tent, where in the past we really couldn't.
Mm-hmm. Are either of you musicians yourself?
Good question.
Noah just gave this evil
No,
laugh, and Michael
it's-
just pushed the microphone over.
It's been over a decade since some embarrassing bands in high school.
Right.
The CDs to which did not exist anywhere.
You're saying
Not
that,
even
but-
at my parents' house. No.
Really? They're somewhere,
I
right?
have the same thing.
We all have that.
Yeah, and I'm asked that a lot, but no, I think my talent is off the stage, definitely not on the stage.
Dante said you have a beautiful radio voice.
Thank you so much, Dante.
Yeah,
But you
that
know
was
what?
really his direct quote.
But singing, no, you would. I'd be like, cats and scratching the chalkboard. No, you wouldn't want me.
So it was good singing in the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm the best. I'm the best.
So for the lineup, we have 4 days of festivities, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure you're encouraging people to go for all 4 days to see all 7 stages. That is the ultimate goal. But is there any theme to each of the days?
Programming wise, what we try to do is be diverse. We try to have the theme, I guess, would be something for all ages each day. Mm-hmm. So as you said, we have Sunday, it kind of worked out that way. We have Jason Isbell, Steep Canyon Rangers,
Yep.
Sarah Giroux. So we have the younger demographics, 20-somethings, 30-somethings, and, obviously people 40-something will love it also. But it just worked out that way. And then we're closing Sunday with Loudon Wainwright III, a pretty iconic folky, that our core audience would love.
Anybody who ever lived in the 90s and watched movies like Singles knows all about Loudon Wainwright.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then a really interesting thing, especially this stuff that's going on in the Ukraine right now, we have a band called Daka Braka.
Daka Braka.
Which is a Ukrainian quartet. So we love to focus on world music also.
Wow. That's real. I mean, in light of everything that's happening right now, to have somebody come and perform, that's pretty, that'll be pretty amazing, I'm sure.
We have a really good colleague in Canada, his named Derek Andrews, that we call up each year, and he's very worldly. Like, he'll go to London, he'll go Montreal, and say, what's the real hot act world-wise? And he said, if you can get these guys, they would turn some heads. So we got them. And
El Caribe Funk, who they're also a world-type band, who just... Have you seen them perform live yet? I don't know if you've been able to see them.
Not yet, but we were thrilled to get them. You know, we knew they were going to be up around this way for most of the summer. So they're on Saturday afternoon at the Folk Fest. And as well as, I'll make another plug here for the 2nd Street Festival, which is August 3rd, next Sunday, which the Folk Song Society is actually a partner in now for the 4th straight year.
You're just a partner in that? For some reason, I thought you guys ran it.
There is a separate festival director and a big group of sponsors that all.
Could you imagine having to do 2 whole festivals in one?
Well, I was always confused as why you did it so close together. That's now I know why. You're only a part of it.
Right. But so we have a couple of acts, including El Caribe Funk, as well as Discanto, who is also in town from Italy this year. So, we figured, well, you came all this way. Let's get you another gig, too.
I got to, on a hunch, got to see them at Hard Rock because I was there for something else, and they were performing. And it's awesome because the percussionist had these big shoes on. And I was like, why does he have these big shoes on? Well, they're maracas in his feet. And so the whole time he's performing, his legs are going crazy. I'm like, I've never seen shoes like this. It was driving me insane. I could not figure it out.
She couldn't figure it out until he got up and walked.
No, well, I went on YouTube and I was watching one of their videos, and one of the fans explained that they were actually an instrument. And then he had I don't know if he created this or if this is a thing. I don't know about foot maracas, but it was really mind blowing. So that'll be definitely an interesting act to see. I'm really excited that I got to see them already.
Yeah. We do have while the main stage, to get back to your question, jumps around, different styles as the evening goes on. There are a couple of things on the side stages where, we'll try to program an hour or two with a few acts that'll collaborate and, put on something themed, if you will. We start off every Sunday morning, with a gospel hour on the camp stage, and that's usually followed by an hour or two of Celtic music. And these become mainstays at the festival, and everyone sort of knows that, that's Sunday afternoon there. We have a couple of different features of local music. Helen Light comes over on Saturday afternoon, again on the camp stage, and we'll feature about 4 or 5 acts that, she's brought there. We also have a separate showcase for, I think, 6 of our co-op acts, which happens Friday afternoon. So a couple of good chances there to catch a lot of homegrown talent.
I'm on your website right now, pfs.org, where you can get the full lineup, the full schedule for the Folk Festival, and I'm assuming getting information about 2nd Street Festival as well on the website. And you can see exactly what stages and what acts are going to be performing this year, so you can get a sense. But just go for the whole. Take your vacation and go spend 4 days on a campground. I mean, and you know what I think? Our question of the night, ironically, was what is an annoying festival behavior that you need to endure? I'm sure that some happen, but for the most part, from what I understand, that this is really one of those festivals where you can be comfortable to go and camp. And it really is more of a family-type atmosphere. Yeah,
absolutely. We talked about there are some fun late-night jams, but, half of our campground is dedicated to just families. And we've got an entire section of the festival, Dulcimer Grove, which has, kids focused programming going on all afternoon long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, besides a couple of kid-friendly acts, jugglers, acrobats, fun crafts, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, I want to go and play another song because it's time for another little break, and then I'd like to talk about the farm when we come back as well, because I'm curious about how that all worked out. So you gave me a CD to play. which I have in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would be on that CD? What do you think? Which one should I go with?
Let's play the fella that I am personally most excited to see out of our entire lineup, who will be there Thursday night.
Okay.
So this is only available to folks who have bought an all-weekend camping ticket. We do a special Thursday evening kickoff thing on the camp stage out there. And this was actually just recently announced. We're going to have Sturgill Simpson, relatively up-and-coming fella from Kentucky, awesome country music. I was thrilled when we booked him and can't wait for him to be there next month.
What number track is it?
It's the first track.
First track. All right, let's check it out. I'm excited not to hear it. We'll be back in just a moment.
Cleaning out the darkest corner of my mind, taking all my full circle, making straight lines, been getting to the bottom of the bottom, getting to me. I've been holding up the mirror to everything I don't want to see, but it ain't all flowers. Sometimes you gotta feel the thorn. When you play with the devil, you know you're gonna get to home. Been dancing with the demons all my life. Every time I find my groove, they cut in like a knife. Been a sin eater, Lord, since the day I was born. Tired of feeling weighed down from carrying around all the pain that keeps me torn. So I pray when I lay me down to die, grab a glass of wine and a seat to dine, and go ahead and eat the whole damn pie. Woo-hoo!
love being introduced to new artists. So I just looked him up. What's his name again? I'm sorry. Sturgill Simpson. And he's 36 years old. Another little cutie pie.
Say that 3 times fast.
I can't say it 1 time fast. We think we've just learned that lesson. Michael, what about you? Who are you most excited to see this year? Do you have a favorite? Noah gave us his.
Well, Noah gave a good one.
He did.
Noah gave a really great one. One of the acts that I really like is appearing. They're closing the show Saturday evening. Rebirth Brass Band.
We played them tonight, yeah.
Rebirth Brass Band, again, a historic 35 years they've been in music. A great brass band from New Orleans. So Trombone Shorty years ago when he was Shorty was with Rebirth. So it's going to be a really fun set. And what we're doing is our big screens. If you look at our stage to the left and to the right, we have big video screens. And what we're going to do is a tribute to all our fallen volunteers over the years. So we're going to have their pictures up. As Rebirth is going to do like a second line thing.
Wow.
So yeah, so we've
had a lot of volunteers, I'm sure.
We've lost a lot, Brian. We lost 5 or 6 like core volunteers, and I think if we have the time, we should talk about the volunteers because it's such a major part of what we do.
Please,
we have over 2,000 volunteers, and I kid you not, these volunteers have been there 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They're doctors and lawyers and just regular hardworking people. And as you said, with your friends coming every year, these volunteers are so dedicated. You know, so we're so blessed to have them. And we have 38 different committees. And when we say committees, you know, like grounds, we have 100 people from grounds, meaning they start the last weekend in June. It's a farm. So they give us the key like the last weekend in June, and 6 weeks it takes us to build the infrastructure. Think of that. And the grounds committee that builds it, they know where the first fence post goes in and the last goes in. And there's no manuals. It's brought down, taught to them by the generations that have passed.
I just love that you guys are keeping history so intact with everything that you're doing. I think that is such a vital part of this.
We're so proud of it, you know, and you know it's our mission, you know, just to keep this music going, and like we all do in the music business, and we as professionals, we have a responsibility, you know, to our audience, which is all over the world, that we're going to give them the best product we can, and we're excited. I mean, think of it: 7 years before Yasgur's Farm, before Woodstock, our event started.
Well, so the farm that you use now to do the event, how did that all come about? How did you find it?
That's a good question.
Way back when?
Way back. So
is it a family-owned farm? Or?
Family-owned. The Godshalls, the family-owned farm. And the first year we were there was 1970-71 in a torrential downpour. It's usually the case with Fest. We usually get rain, you know, here and there.
I was going to say, doesn't it rain every year at least one day?
Last year we were pretty blessed. We just had a couple sprinkles on Sunday, but if you remember, Thursday, Friday, Saturday was beautiful, low humidity, mid-70s during the day, mid-50s at night, right?
Yeah, as we will do this year.
Yeah. So we have.
I already got the word.
It's a good job, Noah. Yeah, good job, man. That's job security right there, man. Job security. What a company man. So our volunteers, we obviously couldn't do it without them, and we deal with the townships and the fire company and the police department because we have to shuttle our customers from like 9 different locations. Once we run out of space on the concert parking side, then we go to different little shopping malls and different farms, and we get them from point A to point B. So
you mentioned it was the Godshalls farm. Is that the same poultry farm, Godshalls? Is that the same? No, maybe because they have a stand in Reading Terminal where I buy all of my chicken, and if it is them, then I love it even more because they have the best chicken in Philadelphia, like actual chicken.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just said the name. I'm sure the Godshalls like Smith.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm sure that it is. How big is the farm? How big is the space?
80, I think it's 80 plus acres. And it's divided in half. 40 acres is your camping side.
Right.
There's a big tree line, and 40 acres is your concert side.
Are you guys going and spending the whole time there? You camping it out as well?
Believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Noah gets there like Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
There for about a week.
and I'm usually there the Thursday prior, so I'm there for like 11 days.
That's amazing.
You know,
I really just admire the dedication. Jim, in our chat room right now, was just saying that he has enough issues with an all-day fest. I can't imagine the effort that goes into a 4-day event. And it's true. You need a shitload of interns, he said, to do one day. I can't imagine 4 days.
And it's
on 80 acres.
Plus, we have $1 million budget. Mm-hmm. So you talk about rolling the dice.
Yeah.
But for 53 consecutive years, knock on wood, you know, it's profitable. And, you know, we're doing it.
Good for you. I think that I just think that it's such an amazing thing, and the idea of it being a family event. And here in the Philadelphia area, because, you know, we often talk about Philadelphia's roots in music in general and how strong they really are, but it's nice to see some of that being preserved because it gets lost.
Noah brought to my attention at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, was it last month, Hall & Oates were inducted.
Yes.
And hard to even fathom, but Daryl Hall said that they're the first band from Philadelphia to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. And
is that true?
It is.
And
that's crazy.
That's basically what Daryl Hall said. Yeah. You know, he said it in so many different expletives. But think of all the great bands out of Philadelphia, and he said, "Don't get me wrong, we're honored to be it, but that's wrong. No, that's wrong."
Well, you know, the people at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they just pick and choose how you want anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's not about integrity or how good they are or how sustainability they are. I mean, you'll get people in there from the 80s and bypassing people from the 50s, 60s, and 70s that should have been in there.
You're right. There's no rhyme or reason. And then Noah brought to my attention, what did John Oates say?
Oh, yeah, so John Oates started talking about what we were going on earlier, what a hotbed of folk and rock and roll Philly was in the mid-'60s when he was growing up.
Yeah.
And he actually, you know, not to brag a little bit, but he called out the Philly Folk Fest in his induction speech there in the Hall of Fame, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. That is really amazing. It is sad that they are the first ones to be inducted because you just think about all of the legends that came out of Philadelphia, but I think that is amazing that he was smart enough to mention y'all because, I mean, you really are contributing to a part of history that doesn't ever get... I just don't feel like people understand sometimes what Philadelphia did for the music scene.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, and even just the history alone and, like, early Motown. Like, Motown, you know, everyone was, like, saying it's Denver or wherever it came, but it's really... I really feel it came from Philly mostly.
Yeah, and I mean, you could even argue about DJing. You could argue about Motown. You could argue about a lot of things that they really started here in Philadelphia.
We had American Bandstand. Come on, Dick Clark.
Right.
American Bandstand, right. And do you remember the show Dancing on Air?
Yeah, that was here.
Do you remember that dance show, Dancing on Air? It was a huge, like...
Yeah, unfortunately, I do remember that show, but it was from Philly.
No, but that was an iconic show. That was from Philadelphia show. My friend just stumbled upon the archives of it, and you look back at the people that actually performed there before they, like, Tupac was there before anybody knew who he was, and that was all taking place in Philadelphia. And you know, it just doesn't.
There should be a museum to pay homage to the music of Philadelphia. That's what I think. You know, maybe something you should work on. In your free time.
Yeah, we'll do it tonight.
After the festival, if you could just get that up real quick, that'd be really great.
But it's funny you said, because we're so proud of the Philadelphia heritage. At the Philadelphia Music Alliance last October, our own Gene Shea was inducted in the Philadelphia Music Hall of Fame.
I know that, yes.
And Jerry Blavat was the MC, and Gamble and Huff were there.
Nice.
You know, the Stylistics. I mean, like we're talking about iconic acts. And they have not been inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I can't believe that this Hall & Oates to go in first.
Right.
All right, so let's recap a little bit. Second Street Festival is happening first, Sunday, August 3rd. Where's the location of that?
Right. Real quick plug before the next event that we want to shout out a little bit. Michael's Pennsylvania Blues Fest coming right up this weekend.
Oh, another one?
I do it.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, Michael has his own,
yes. Have you slept?
No. I do.
This weekend.
Yeah, I do, for 23 years, I bring a festival to the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania.
Which part?
It's you hip to Blue Mountain.
I grew up in Hazleton.
Hazleton, right on. I'm from Jim Thorpe. So
shut up. We're like neighbors.
There you go.
the Napa accent.
So for 19 years, it was a big Boulder ski area in Blakesley. And then for the last 4 years, it's at Blue Mountain. So it's 17 national and international artists, from acoustic to electric, traditional to contemporary, blues, soul, rhythm and blues.
Wow.
So that's this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Blue Mountain. But and so the Second Street Fest is Sunday, August 3rd. It's free. We have 2 stages of music, 20 hours of programming, and many of our co-op artists. Right.
And even as I mentioned earlier, a couple acts that are going to be at the Folk Fest, El Caribe Funk and Discanto. Discanto is actually starting off the whole thing at noon, and El Caribe Funk is going on at about 9:30 and closing the whole thing.
So it's on
out.
Second Street. Where's it between?
In Northern Liberties, all the way between Fairmount and Germantown Avenue. So it stretches 6 long city blocks.
Yeah.
I think they estimated that 30,000 people show up there each year throughout the day.
It's just one of those beautiful
Yeah.
70-degree days. I just ate from one end.
Yeah, terrific food and drink from all those wonderful restaurants and bars that are all partners down there. The whole lineup is available on our website as well as the Second Street Festival's website. And the schedule, if it's not up now, should be up by tomorrow for the whole day's event. So it lasts from noon till 10. It is the best big outside block party of the year. The best and the biggest in town.
So that's going to be Sunday, August 3rd. And then, of course, the Folk Festival is coming up on August 14th to the 17th, Upper Salford Township near Schwenksville. Folks can get tickets online?
Yes. Folkfest.org or pfs.org. They're our mirror sites. They are available right now for 10% off of the gate price.
So now's the time to do it.
That discount is not going to last right up until the very last second. So if you're looking to buy and save yourself a few bucks, you should do that now.
Who's the act with the biggest buzz so far?
We've heard some great response about Old Crow Medicine Show being there on Friday. Someone that, we've heard about, everyone's every year, who you got to get. Well, we actually got him this year. And so, by far, from what I've heard from, just the calls and emails and, oh, my God, you got them. We're thrilled to have them headlining the whole thing on Friday night. And we're getting a full 75-minute set. This is not a short and little 35-minute festival set. This is a full Old Crow set Friday night to close out the main stage.
I heard they're bringing in additional lighting.
That's right, yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. That's going to be amazing. I already put my request in for next year, Teresa Anderson, who I mentioned. It's like, I'm just going to make a little list, just slip it over. That would be amazing. All right, and then don't forget, we also have the Liberty Music Festival coming up at the end of August 20th to the 24th, which Brian and I will be at for all 4 days.
Cool.
We only have one festival. They have like 10 this month.
One is enough.
It's like every weekend you guys are going to be doing something. Do you have vacations planned anytime in the upcoming near future?
Yeah, his festival and he goes to Blue Mountain. That's his vacation.
That's my
Your
vacation.
vacation. Yeah, I don't blame you. No, Michael, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Anytime. We appreciate your time, and thanks for doing what you're doing.
It was really a pleasure to have you here. Good luck with everything.
What do you want to play on the closeout?
Also, I just want to mention really quick, next week we have Disturbing Daisy. They're going to be our guests on the radio show, so tune in at 6 o'clock to talk to them. That's going to be very exciting. And then we're going to play one more song just to close out. But don't forget to head on over to the website, thatmusicmag.com. Check out all the new music reviews that are up from yesterday. Some really good stuff up there, so definitely check that out. And look for the new issue. Going to be in the streets at the beginning of August. Of course, we already announced Jason Isbell on the front cover. His pretty little cute face just gets to stare at the world. It's going to be amazing. All right, I'm going to play one more song on our way out. Which should I play, Noah, from your CD? Anything good?
We came in a little late on the show. Have you guys played any Old Crow yet?
We did play one, but
Okay.
I'll play another.
All right. No, that's all right. Any Sarah Jarosz yet?
I have not played Sarah.
Take us out in a little mellower note.
Let's play her.
So this is the title track from the record she put out last year, Build Me Up from the Bones. Yeah.
What number is this?
It is track number 6 on the CD you have, and she'll be there Sunday evening.
All right, we'll see everybody at the Folk Festival. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night.